Welcome back to Upgrade to General, a series to help you upgrade your amateur radio license to General class. This episode is Sub-Element G7, Question Group A, about practical circuits, specifically power supplies and schematic symbols. I'm your host, Ron Call, KE7CR. Let's get started with the first question. First question asks, what is the function of a power supply bleeder resistor? A bleeder resistor discharges the filter capacitors when power is removed. Remember, capacitors can store charge for quite some time. So if you just unplugged it and there was no bleeder resistors, the capacitors might retain that charge and be dangerous if you were to open up a chassis and start working on some equipment. So a bleeder resistor discharges the filter capacitors after power is removed. The next question asks, which of the following components are used in a power supply filter network? The filter network is the capacitors and inductors after the diodes rectify the AC into DC. Capacitors and inductors smooth that DC out. The next question, which type of rectifier circuit uses two diodes and a center tapped transformer? That's a full wave rectifier. The next question, what is a characteristic of a half wave rectifier in a power supply? Only one diode is needed in a half-wave rectifier. The next question, what portion of the AC cycle is converted to DC by a half-wave rectifier? It's half of the wave. So one full wave is 360 degrees, so half of that is 180 degrees, and that's the answer. The next question, what portion of the AC cycle is converted to DC by a full-wave rectifier? Well, that's the full wave. 360 degrees is the answer. The next question, what is the output waveform of an unfiltered full-wave rectifier connected to a resistive load? It's a series of DC pulses at twice the frequency of the AC input. Each wave is going to oscillate 360 degrees, but the negative half of the cycle gets inverted so that it's positive. So you're having a half a wave followed by the other half of the wave that's inverted. So the frequency is doubled from what the AC input is. The next question, which of the following is characteristic of a switch mode power supply as compared to a linear power supply? Well, switch mode power supplies are much smaller because the high frequency operation allows the use of smaller components. So that's the answer. High frequency operation allows the use of smaller components. The next set of questions are about schematic symbols. So if you're just listening to this podcast, you'll need to look these up. If you're on the video, you can see what these look like. The next question is, which symbol in figure G7A represents a field effect transistor? And it's symbol 1. The next question, which symbol in figure G7A represents a Zener diode? That's symbol 5. The next question, which symbol in figure G7A represents an NPN junction transistor? That's symbol 2. Circle with 3 leads. One of the leads has the arrow on it. NPN, remember, means not pointing in, so the arrow is pointing outward, away from the center of the transistor. The next question, which symbol in figure G7A represents a solid core transformer? A solid core transformer is 2 coils of wire with iron in the center. That's symbol 6. And the last question, which symbol in figure G7A represents a tapped inductor? That's symbol 7. Shows an inductor with a lead on either end and a third lead attached somewhere within that coil. That's a tapped inductor. That's it for this question set. I know it's hard if you're just listening to the audio podcast, so you'll need to learn these schematic symbols by sight. Thanks for joining me for this episode, and look forward to seeing you in the next episode. This is KE7CR 73.